right, let's focus on commodities now. We have Manisha joining in with a roundup of all what's taking place. Manisha, no respite for the metals?
Well, absolutely. It has been a very negative one when it comes to that. Take a look at the steel index itself, and that's down by about 6%. Everything from iron ore to steel has been declining. Iron ore prices now are below $60 per ton and have declined 12% in this week. Steel is down nearly 14% this week, and the copper prices are trading at a 2-week lows, and this is the worst weekly decline that you have seen for copper since the beginning of 2015 there. The only gainer this week really has been the energy space, and that also because of the supply disruption concerns coming in from Canada and Libya, etc. As far as the precious metal space goes, well, it's the strong US dollar that is putting pressure there. But having said that, it really is going to be about the US jobs data today in the evening. That would give you further direction in markets.
Absolutely. We now have Naveen Mathur joining in with a couple of his strategies. Naveen, first to take forward all the details that Manisha just lined out on copper, you also have a strategy on it.
Yeah, that's right. Good morning to you too. Yes, Manisha said absolutely right. The people are watching about the job payroll data, which will be coming in the evening today from the US. It's a cautious trade. Yesterday we did saw some kind of volatility, but I think over the last few days, in spite of being volatility, the commodities are turning to the downside. They have taken the profits. The people have taken the profits on the upside, so it's kind of a selling pressure building up. We also saw the gold prices, the copper and the base metal prices touching highs. Last few months highs, but then now the copper is trading at around 4,700, 4,800 levels. I think the fundamental reasons are bearish, and the strategy therefore would be the M6 copper contract to be sold for the June month at around 321, 322 levels, stop loss at around 325, and targets on the downside can be seen in a range of around 315 to 314.
Naveen, how are you looking at the precious metal space? I mean, we're all looking for the US jobs data today, and the US dollar ahead of that is strengthened.
Yeah, that's right, Manisha. The fundamental factors seem to be putting pressure. As I said, the dollar price of gold currently is at around 1277, 78. I think the markets are a little bit tight ranged now. Going forward, 30,000 to 30,500 would be a little bit consolidating levels for the gold in India. And I think 1250 to 1275 or 1280 levels would be something where the markets would be consolidating in the international space. So I think overall trend remains within the range bound territory, but technically, in spite that the dollar is gaining strength, technically it seems like that a buy position can be initiated at around 30,000 levels, 29,950 to 30,000 levels, stop loss to be put in at around 29,750, and targets on the upside can be seen in a range of around 350 to 400 rupees.
Naveen, very quickly, what's your strategy now on the crude oil prices?
Manisha, its crude is stabilizing at around 43, 44. We saw last month Doha summit does not resulted into any kind of concrete decision by the OPEC and the non-OPEC members. Still, it did had a knee-jerk reaction and it fallen back to around $37, $38, but bounced up because of the weakness in the dollar index. And further talks about that the markets may, or the OPEC members and non-OPEC members in May, again, would meet up and decide about certain freeze on the oil output. So I think 43, 42 would be crucial support levels at this point of time, and I'm slightly bullish to an extent of $48 in medium term, but intraday buy at around 2,920, target at around 2,970, and stop loss to be put in for this trade at around 2,870.
Naveen, hi, very quickly, your call on currency, you're buying the dollar rupee pair today?
Yeah, that's right. Morning, Anuj. 66.75, 66.80 would be something on the NSE where the contract for the June can be bought in. Targets of around 67 and 66.60 would be the stop loss for this trade.
All right, Naveen and Manisha, thanks very much for joining in and taking us through all of those commodity strategies and the outlook on it. But let's focus on a couple of stocks now. The entire NBFC space is in focus as the RBI has released those draft guidelines for on-tap license.